Hello and welcome to Steve Couper's podcast for aspiring real estate investors. In each episode, I strive to bring a guest to the table that's in part of the real estate community, either as a subject matter expert or an investor themselves. In this case, I'm super excited because my guest today is the founder of Alchemy Investments Group, a Canadian real estate investor. She's an entrepreneur, a certified professional bookkeeper who helps her investors and business owners build wealth with clarity, confidence, and control. So with over 30 years of financial experience, Andrea Schroder is known for her grounded, practical approach to money. And she often says, I don't teach bookkeeping, I help people think more clearly with their numbers. So I love that. So her work blends financial intelligence, transparency, and no-nonsense communication, and is the foundation of her signature concept, sexy bookkeeping. I look forward to learning more about that. And so Andrea is her real estate journey began with strategic partnerships and REITs, investing since then she's expanded into active property ownership, including short and long-term rentals, and a growing multifamily portfolio. She's also an active member of the Legend Real Estate Trust Success Team. Known for her fierce integrity and candid style, Andrea is, and I may pronounce this wrong, she's a Muay Thai fighter and a Harley rider. Living proof that clarity is power and that balance sheets and badassery can absolutely coexist. Welcome, Andrea. Did I manage to butcher that or did I get it all right?
Sorry, just bang on, Steve. Thanks. You make me sound badass.
Absolutely. I think it's such an amazing bio. I had to read it word for word. But tell me what it didn't say. Tell me all about Andrea.
Andrea started her financial journey, as I say, about 30 years ago. Started in small business and ended up eventually managing larger businesses, and found that wasn't quite in alignment with who I was. And so I scaled back a little bit. I became a certified professional bookkeeper, and I started supporting clients in their business journey as both an advisor and a compliance manager. But I really enjoy the advisory part of my role within businesses and being able to support clients as they grow and move forward in their journeys, whether that be real estate or another entrepreneurial endeavor.
Well, you've got such a wealth of experience with numbers. It's just got to be impressive as you watch young businesses start out and helping them seek the clarity they need through their numbers and be able to actually grow and aspire to other things. I think that's really encouraging because so many people are daunted by numbers. So you
Yes.
say you don't teach bookkeeping, you help people think clearly with their numbers. What does clear thinking actually look like when you sit down with an investor's books?
I try to provide my clients with insight into their books. I had a number of conversations with my clients, and I asked them, especially with your year end, what exactly are you getting from your accountant? I said, are you just getting a bill and a T2? And they said, yeah, pretty much. So I said, you're not walking away with any clarity or any real information. And that didn't seem right to me. I made a point of, when I do up a month end for one of my clients, I'm breaking everything down and pulling numbers out and taking the mystifyingness out of the financial statements, because most people don't know how to read a financial statement.
It's a sad truth, I'm afraid. It's a real
But people look at it and they're just confused, and most of them, I don't even think most of them even look at them, right? Because they just think, I can't understand this, so why would I even try to read it?
Interpreting financial statements, profit and loss statements. There's an art. You need to know how to extrapolate that information. So true.
Absolutely.
So very true. So, you've got 30 years or over 30 years in finance.
Yeah.
What patterns do you see repeating over and over with investors who struggle financially? Now, regardless of how smart or successful they are elsewhere, there's certain things that people struggle to overcome. What do you see repeating?
I think it's almost more the psychology behind money, right? There's so much shame behind it, and so much shame about not understanding it. So if I'm able to offer insight and clarity and, help you walk around your financial statements. So you're looking at them and you're feeling empowered at the end of the month, and you're going, okay, right now I have a little bit of clarity. I can actually make a decision based on my financial statements rather than, kind of flying by the seat of your pants and making irrational decisions based on what might be in your bank account.
So as a real estate investor with that background in bookkeeping, how does that serve you in your investments? How does that help, that experience empower you? What do you think is the biggest strength there as you approach it from the active investing side?
Yeah, I remember when I'm a member of Wealth Genius, but before I even signed on with Wealth Genius, they were showing me these pro forma income statements. And I mean, I just kind of glance at them and I don't think twice about it, right? I know exactly what it says, what it means. So I think it's almost given me a leg up, as just having that really solid foundation and never having to question what numbers mean. And more people really should have that. Yeah, it's vitally important.
Well, we're buying businesses, so knowing
Right.
numbers is key.
Yeah, even if you're just in a single family dwelling, right? You still need to be treating it as a business. And you need to be running the numbers. You need to be running your numbers regularly, whether that be something as simple as a spreadsheet, which I don't always recommend because it's too easy to have errors in them because you're not able to do the next step, which is, the reconciliations, which are meant to ensure that you are classifying and categorizing all of your income and all of your expenses.
I agree. So it kind of fits into that, I guess. The question that occurs to me here, you've got, like I say, your foot in both camps where you understand the investors' needs and maybe your capital partners' needs, and understand the performance of the building and how it's all gelling together. So, I mean, you're known for fierce integrity and candor. What uncomfortable truths do investors need to hear about their numbers but often avoid?
Good question. As I said before, I think, you need to know what the bottom line is so you're not making mistakes. I was going to say something else and I was like, no, that might be a little harsh. But yeah, so you're just, you're making those informed decisions based on numbers and facts because numbers never lie. Yeah. Right? If you're in the red, you're in the red. And you need to do something to fix that.
Numbers never lie. You heard it here first. Maybe not.
Yeah. That's the beauty of numbers. I mean, I remember when I was back in school, people were all interested in these organizational behavior theories and this, that, and the next thing. And they showed me the numbers and I was just like, oh, well, now this stuff doesn't lie. This is not theory. This is practicality.
Fact. I love it. So, pardon me. How does sexy bookkeeping protect investors emotionally, not just financially, especially during market cycles and ups and downs and stress periods? How does that work?
I think it helps to remove that, there's that shame always with money. I mean, we all carry it, right? We all have a money story. So if you can help to ease that and simplify that and move away from that and empower yourself, I've said often over the last little while, like I have my own personal set of books. I run my life as I run my business. And it's empowering to know exactly where I am at the end of every month. I know how much money is going out. I know how much money is coming in. I'm not just looking, as I say, at, the balance in my bank at the end of the month going, what's happening?
So many of us are like that, I'm afraid. It's sad truth. So why do you why did you coin the phrase sexy bookkeeping? Tell me the history there.
As a member of Wealth Genius, I like how Alfonso always says, he calls everything sexy. And I was like, well, why can't bookkeeping be sexy too? I mean, it's the foundation of everything. So it should be sexy.
Make it sexy, girl. Make it sexy.
Right? It absolutely has to be sexy. So yeah, I'm just kind of on a mission to make bookkeeping as sexy as it possibly can at this point.
So if an investor wants wealth with clarity, confidence, and control, what is the very first habit they should change in how they interact with their funds?
Usually what I suggest that people do is start digitizing everything and start sorting everything, moving away from paper and, kind of setting yourself up for success in the case of an audit, right? Because the government is, they're using AI the same as we are and uncovering, nuances and errors even faster. So, the chances of an audit are increasing and we need to protect ourselves against that. And if you don't have a proper set of books, how can you protect yourself? And how can you confidently walk through an audit?
No, it's very good. Do you recommend people invest in a software to do their, well, I guess probably not, for keeping track of the receipts, or do you recommend they hire a bookkeeper, or what?
A lot of people, as a bookkeeper, I'm not cheap, but I have a lot of experience. I'm a certified professional bookkeeper. I brought myself up, to a different level altogether, I think. You have to be careful hiring, a minimum wage bookkeeper. You don't know what you're going to get. I think you need to be vetting your bookkeeper if that's, the route that you're going to take. You need to properly vet your bookkeeper and make sure that, they're doing what they say they can do.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, yeah, you can try it yourself. There's software out there. QBO always had Danny DeVito saying how simple it was, this, that, and the next thing. It's not that simple. You need to educate yourself on how to use it, right? And have a little bit of knowledge behind it as well. When I started doing bookkeeping, it was all long-handed in ledgers, and I was, adding things up with a calculator,
with
right? Yeah. The software nowadays simplifies that whole process, but the idea behind it is still the same. A debit is a debit and a credit is a credit. When the software does it, my brain is sort of like, oh yeah, debit this, credit that, blah, blah, blah. But you don't need that much knowledge around it, but you do need some sort of know-how on how to run the software properly, or you're just going to make a mess of it. And then you're going to pay somebody like me double to fix it.
Yeah. So most investors, I think, believe that bookkeeping is maybe boring, or either boring or intimidating.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, and what do you think they're really afraid of?
I think, it can be boring. Data entry is not fun, right? That's the boring part of it. I think people just get overwhelmed because they wait until year end and then they're scrambling to try to get everything done before a deadline. So if you're actually doing your books like quarterly or monthly, depending on the level of transactions that you have, quarterly is usually sufficient for an investor. And then you're kind of on top of things. And sorry, remind me of the second part of your question.
What do you think they're afraid of, I guess? Why do you think they're finding it boring or intimidating, and what are they really afraid of?
Well, I think we're all afraid of the CRA to a certain extent.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? Yeah.
We're
all afraid of that.
They just sent me a letter not long ago. I don't know. It wasn't
yeah. Did you get a love letter from them?
I got a love.
Yeah, nobody likes the love letters, right? Especially when they start asking for stuff, because everybody kind of panics right away, right?
Inevitably, they're asking for stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about you then. So where are you going in your journey? What is it that you're hoping to achieve in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I'm hoping to have at least 2 multifamily and family properties under my belt each year, and then really just allow myself to move more and more into an advisory type role, where I am taking the stigma out of it and the shame out of it, and just allowing people to see that how empowering finance is, and knowing what your finances are.
Yeah.
The whole finance, it's shaped my life. And yeah, as I say, I never really feel scared. Even in an audit, I'm just like, yeah, it's audit, whatever. No, if you don't have anything to hide, right? If you're doing your books properly and you know some of the rules, you don't need to know all the rules, but if you know some of the rules, especially with those higher kind of red flag items that the CRA looks for, as long as you're following the rules around, there's a lot of rules. You are meant to follow all of them, obviously, right? But, if you've protected yourself, then yeah, an audit is pretty simple.
Straightforward.
Yeah.
So 2 properties a year for each of the next 5 years.
Yeah.
What's your goal? What are you try wanting to achieve? What is that thing that you want to actually have, and how are you going to know when you get there? What's your vision, your goal?
I would love to spend, 5, 6 months out of the country, learning Spanish. I would love to maybe go to Spain for 5, 6 months, and with the power of the internet, I can work from pretty much anywhere, but it would be great to just have that flexibility. And yeah, I would love to live in a different country for a number of months.
Awesome. Awesome. I think that's noble. I think that we all actually really expand as we get to travel and enjoy other cultures.
Absolutely.
Tell me about this Muay Thai fighting.
Muay Thai. It's similar to kickboxing, but there's some nuances. We can do elbows and we can do knees and we can do clinching. As a woman, it's empowering for me to know that I can defend myself if I ever need to. I'm not exactly small in stature, I'm kind of tall, but I also carry myself differently now that I've been doing Muay Thai for about 8 years. But yeah, I carry myself differently, and it's brought a certain level of confidence to how I hold myself.
There you go. And you still driving the Harley or what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You getting many trips in?
This year, yeah, there's one rally for sure that I'm going to in Winnipeg, and then I want to take a little solo trip down into the States and ride around Sturgis a little bit. So
Okay.
So that's the goal for the summer.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
An opportunity to take a break from the bookkeeping, and hopefully the real estate's all stable so you can actually hit the road.
That would be lovely.
Have you got any questions for me?
I think I do. What are you doing to ensure that your finances are?
I'm pulling all of my receipts together and sending them off to my accountant. It's like a brown bag full of noise. No, it's not that. It's more like a basket. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I try to stay organized, but I know that there's a better way for sure.
There's a better way. Yeah, there is a better way. Just one that will give you a little bit of ease.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So before we sign off, folks, I want to make sure that if you're enjoying these podcasts, please make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, share them with your friends, because I think that if it's worth making you laugh or giving you something to think about, then it's certainly worth sharing with others. Thank you very much, Andrea. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. If somebody wants to reach you, where are you and how do they reach you, and what's the best way to go about that?
I have my website. It's bookkeeping-witchery.ca. I'm also on Instagram. Little different there though. It's Kitchen Witchery Co. And Facebook too, just under myself, Andrea Schroder.
Perfect. Well, we'll put those links in the notes. Thank you very much once again for joining me. It's been a real pleasure. And
thank you so much, Steve.
Folks, reach out to Andrea and learn all about sexy bookkeeping. I think it's well worth it.